Alzheimer's disease, an overview. Today we will discuss Alzheimer's disease and its progressive stages. We will also discuss the warning signs, prevention tips, risk factors, diagnosis, dementia, stages, and current treatment medications. After a basic overview of this disease, we will have a guest healthcare professional speak for 15 minutes and give detail about the methods for testing for Alzheimer's disease. The next 15 minutes will be another lecture discussing the treatment options and prevention. And the last 15 minutes will be a group discussion over the closing questions, ending with the open response. Objectives. Completing this learning activity, participants will be able to explain 2 out of 3 progression stages of Alzheimer's. Following the presentation, the participants will be able to list 3 out of 4 methods from the lecture. After the group discussion on the warning signs of Alzheimer's, participants will illustrate the importance of distinguishing mild dementia from Alzheimer's disease. What is Alzheimer's disease? It is the most common form of dementia, a general term for memory loss and other intellectual abilities serious enough to interfere with daily life. Alzheimer's disease accounts to 50 to 80% of dementia cases. A brief overview of our learning activities. Our first learning activity will include a guest speaker who is a healthcare professional. This professional routinely administers Alzheimer's tests for proper diagnosis. They will explain in detail the methods of testing. Continuing. There will be available handouts for treatment medication options, prevention tips, and the 10 warning signs. Closing the lesson, participants will use discussion questions to have group discussion followed by open response for the last activity. The lesson has 15 minutes lecture, 15 minutes guest speaker, 15-minute lecture, and 15-minute discussion for a total of 1 hour. There will also be discussion about dementia and the difference between Alzheimer's. Dementia is not a specific disease. It is an overall term that describes a wide range of symptoms. There are many different causes of memory problems. Some causes of dementia-like symptoms can be reversed. These would be thyroid or vitamin deficiencies. Know the warning signs. Here is a list of warning signs that will be given in handouts. Number 1, memory loss that disrupts daily life. 2, challenges in planning or solving problems. 3, difficulty completing familiar tasks at home or at work. 4, confusion with time or place. 5, trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. 6, new problems with words in speaking or writing. 7, misplacing things and losing the ability to retrace steps. 8, decrease or poor judgment. 9, withdrawal from work or social activities. And 10, changes in mood or personality. Stages. This is another part of our lecture. Number 1, no impairment. 2, very mild cognitive decline. 3, mild cognitive decline. 4, moderate. 5, moderate to severe. 6, severe, and 7, very severe. This will also be given in the handout. Diagnosis. This is where, in our lesson today, that the guest healthcare professional will do her lecture and give detail about a thorough medical history, mental status testing. She'll talk about the physical and neurological exam and other tests such as blood tests and brain imaging to rule out other causes of dementia-like symptoms. We will return from her speech to talk about the prevention, and that would be maintain an active social life, engage in moderate exercise at least 3 times a week, maintain a healthy, balanced diet, and challenge your brain with activities. Here is a list of the current treatment options for Alzheimer's disease. It's definitely not a cure, but there are treatment options that are used to help slow the progression, and this is another list that will be given in the handouts. And also a discussion on the alternatives treatment options like coconut oil, coenzyme 10, and omega-3 fatty acids will be discussed. The discussion questions. Can you tell me some early warning signs of Alzheimer's disease? What are some tips for prevention? Is it easy to recognize each stage of Alzheimer's a loved one is in? Are there different types of dementia? Again, this will be the closing of our lesson, and that will give time for open response afterwards. The multiple intelligences. In my first activity, I used the lecture with a PowerPoint, 2 different intelligences. In my second activity, I had a guest speaker, interpersonal, 15 minutes. Again, in my third activity, a lecture PowerPoint, the same as above, at the very top, and then also I gave out handouts, which was logical. And in my last activity, I used group discussion, which is interpersonal and interpersonal intelligences. So I feel like in my lesson plan here that I covered everything in the rubric that Brittany wanted from us. I give references at the end. I cited all my slides with references, and I talked about the learning activities, and I discussed my objectives, and I gave an overview of the whole hour of my lesson.